You're here because you're a mobile gamer and looking for games that you could play while you're on the go. Games that don't require an internet connection. So today I'm here bringing you 25 games that are super solid in the mobile gaming space that you could play offline. First up, we have Implosion, Never Lose Hope. This game is an action brawler style game with some really solid graphics. And if you're looking for some action where you could just get into those battles on some really nicely themed battlegrounds, this could be a game option for you. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, every single game here today, you could play offline. Next on today's list, we have HAAK. This is a really fun and good looking game at that. I really do like platformers, specifically when I'm talking about offline games. This is one that does platformers very well. Looks really good, super fast gameplay and entertaining, and something that's going to keep you coming back for more. Next we have Blade of God, an action RPG. Now for me personally, I like to play Diablo Immortal, but you can only play that game online. For those of you that don't know, I do have a second YouTube channel called Echo Gaming Diablo. So sometimes when you want to go offline and still play an action RPG, a game like this one could be a solid option for you. Now let's have a look at Altos Odyssey. This is a racing style game with some really beautiful graphics. It's won quite a few awards because of the art style of the game. An offline casual game that is definitely going to keep you moving through the stages and involved in the game, not only because of the great gameplay, but because of how casual and good looking the game actually is. This one is a ton of fun. Next is Tortoise 2, and I like this one because your war machines are actually quite a bit slower than we're used to in many of the other games that we play. Tortoise with these really cute characters is pretty darn awesome, fun to play, and is done well over time. Again, an offline option for you and a little bit different, or I should say a lot different than others you've played. Demon Hunter Shadow World, another action RPG style game, but in a platformer format. Graphics here are really solid, and I love the mixture here of modern day shooter up weapons as well as the melee options you have inside of the game. With this being said, graphics are really on point, a good mixture of the shadows that you have as well as the bright colors that really make everything inside of the game pop. Tons of upgrade and advancement opportunities inside of the game. It's going to keep you coming back for more. For Glory is a role-playing game with some really stunning graphics, again, available offline. I like this one because of how the game looks and, of course, the gameplay as well. Some definitely cool-looking characters, different than many others, and the top-down look here of the game is pretty solid. You can't compare this to something like Diablo Immortal or other top-level games, but it is a fun one to play on the go. Otherworld Legends is our next option for you, and this is a really nice game. This reminds me of Zelda-style graphics, and I like how you have a bit of an open world in this roguelike shooter. Definitely an option for people that don't mind some of the more retro-style pixelated graphics, and some people are actually into that. Like, that's kind of their thing. For me, it's all right. But for you, it may be one that's an amazing option. Definitely looks like it's cool and the gameplay looks solid. As always, guys, make sure you comment below letting me know what games you're currently playing on your devices, whether it's an offline game or an online game. I want to know what you're playing so I could possibly feature it in an upcoming video. Republique is an action-style offline game that's going to keep you moving through this very odd world, completing puzzles and maybe getting creeped out along the way. I do like these types of games, although they are a little bit creepy, and if that's not your thing, maybe this one won't be for you. But if you like puzzles and you like things that could be a little bit creepy, this one may be right up your alley. Shadow of Death is another action platformer style game with some really good stylistic elements to it, very similar to the one that we saw earlier. This one is a little bit darker with a little bit less detail in the character designs themselves, but essentially same overlook as well. This is a really fun game, and it's a nice platformer style if that's what you're looking for, and again, an offline option. Pyramid Quest is a new offline adventure option for you. This is your Mario style platformer, a little bit slower, and of course you are this journeyman trying to make his way through the stages. Definitely has a little bit of an Indiana Jones vibe right here with some cartoony characters that you may enjoy. Definitely casual, can be challenging at times, and also it's definitely fun. Introducing Vector 2. This here is a platformer runner style game. If you're looking for something that's going to be fast paced and keeping you going through the stages as you memorize your way so you don't get yourself stuck along the way. Another shadowed style game right here, offline of course, and like I mentioned, super fast. Wobble Journey is another platformer style casual game with some really nice art elements to it as well. It seems that a lot of these offline games do have art styles that are going to capture the player versus an online capability that would be another option for capturing people. This one here is really cool with some nice cute type characters that you make yourself around the world, and the element of bending the reality itself or bending the board is pretty darn cool. This one's a lot of fun and definitely an option for you if you're into platformers. IceScream, another option for you if you're a puzzle game player. For me, I'm not personally into the puzzle style game, so I would not be downloading this one, but I know that many of you are. If this is your type of thing, if you like puzzles and something that's a little bit creepy, this is another option for you in that genre. The Way Home is a pixel roguelike style game that I really do like. You get to play as this cute little cat going around the world in this RPG roguelike style game. Very simplistic levels and a very simplistic world, but offers you a lot of creativity and room for exploration with battles along the way that are going to keep you entertained and have you enjoy the game. Magic vs. Metal is a battler style game where of course you have your metal robotics going against the magical elements of possibly your opponent or possibly you. Fun, decent game if you're looking for action. The Fall Survival is an action style game where you have modern day weapons in an open world that you are exploring, trying to survive and trying to make your way through in victorious fashion. Brawlhalla is probably one of my favorite options on today's list. This is a Super Smash Bros. Style game that's been really done well for mobile. It's also available on Steam as well. Platformer battlers are incredibly entertaining, super fun for the long term. You can play this one for hours on end and enjoy it online or offline. Now here's the first game that you have to actually spend money to play, and this one is Doom, sitting at $4.99 in the App Store. But I put this one in because this one is a classic, it's a gem, and it's what got shooters, it's what brought first-person shooters onto the map. This game is super classic, incredibly done on mobile, and you'll have tons of fun playing it. Totally worth the $5. Broken Dawn 2 is a shooter-style game where you're trying to make your way through the realm without dying. Of course, that seems like it goes without saying. Use different types of weapons as you go on through as this female character with some great mechanical elements to the game as well. A bit of an action RPG-style game in a more modern world. Bug Heroes 2 is a fun one where you're moving around and you're taking care of all of the bugs. Check it out. You got batteries in your pack and you're trying to keep yourself alive with this tactical combat. Definitely a casual type of game, but also really fun how they do it from a bugs perspective. Mobile-like, huh? Looks like a fun game. Dawnbreak Origin is another action RPG option for those of you looking for one that you could play offline. This is one that has a lot of color, it does really well, and again, I think its best feature here is its offline capabilities. Legendary Larry is a game where you're going to be surviving the zombies in the zones. This one is offline, free to play, and maybe doesn't have the best graphics in the world, but definitely does have an element of fun to it that's going to keep you coming back to keep playing more. I the Last. No, this is not Fall Guys. It's a game that looks very much like it, probably biting off the concept, but at the same time, it's on mobile and it's a lot of fun to play. Keep yourself on the platforms and you could win the game. Definitely a fun game, casual for sure, offline of course, and one that you could try if you liked Fall Guys. I know you wanted to be a cop as a kid. Well, Border Patrol Police is another game where you're doing exactly that. This one may or may not be up your alley, but if it's something that you are into and you want to do this type of a game, it's worth giving a shot. Make sure you guys remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all the game lists that I'm bringing you every single day.